welcome back to Monkey Gardening. A little bit of sunshine today in between the showers, so I'm going to use this opportunity to have a bit of a tidy up. My netting's arrived, so I can net up this bed and the potato bed. I'll also get plants out of the polytunnel and the fleece tunnel, just check if anything needs watering. I'm still waiting for compost. Well, I might pot up a couple of these courgette plants using some of the compost out of the bed, just to move a few things on. Okay, catch up later with some other jobs. So I'm just sorting out the netting on this potato patch. I just spotted something quite interesting. Down here, this is a strawberry plant that's planted or set itself in the ground. I think what happened was last year this plant set out a load of runners which dangled down. They must have at some point touched the ground, and they set little plants. There's one here, and one here. That's quite cool. I'll just probably just leave them to do their own thing, see what happens. There's some more over here as well. So yeah, quite a tenacious plant. Well, just as I finished netting that off, the heavens have opened, it started raining. Some very dark clouds on the way. I think I just heard some thunder. Either that or someone pushing a wheelie bin along. I've taken the fleece off the peas so I can get a bit more water from the rain. When it stops, I'll net up the onions and radishes. Well, 5 minutes later and it stopped raining again. I'm just going to net this up. But before I do, I can see there's a couple of spaces here where I could cram in a couple of more onions, so I'm just going to plant another couple of sets and then I'll fence all this up. I've also just had an email telling me that my compost has finally been dispatched, but they're also saying that it might be another 10 days before it's delivered. So we'll see. I might give it another day or two. The couriers are supposed to contact me to arrange the delivery. If that doesn't happen in the next day or two, then I think I'll have to make a trip to B&Q, but we'll see. And now the sun's come out and it's actually quite warm again. I'm just having a little sit down. I just spotted something on the packaging for the netting. This will focus. It says deters birds, rabbits and foxes. You see there's no mention of squirrels there. Even they can't guarantee. So yeah, I'm going to have a little sit down and I'll finish netting this off. I've just been having a look at the raspberry and blackberry plants. I'm really impressed and quite amazed at how vigorously they've grown. Considering they were just bare sticks at the end of the winter, and they were very cheap plants when I bought them last year. So as long as you have the patience of waiting a year, it's quite remarkable how they grow on. Just before I net this up, I've got a little bit of space down here, and as soon as these radishes aren't doing fantastically well, I'm going to sow some more here. And I've got some different seed. This seed came free with the latest copy of Kitchen Garden magazine. So I'll plant a few seeds in here and make use of the space. Another little top tip: when you're opening up seed packets, maybe you do this anyway, but I used to be in the habit of just ripping off the top of the packet. But instead, if you just fold down this bit at the bottom, you can get the seeds out and put them back in the packet, and you've still got the information reminding you of what they are. So yeah, top tip. Right, it's finally stopped raining. I'm just having a walk around the garden, checking everything's okay. Just had a very exciting phone call telling me that my compost will be arriving on Monday. It's Friday today. So what I'm going to do is try and make some space for it. It's going to be arriving on a pallet. Hopefully the palletizer can get through the back gate. If it can, then I'll probably have the pile of compost where the wheelie bins are. So I'm going to clear some space and move the wheelie bins so I've got some space for that. But before that, I'm going to check everything in the polytunnel and see if anything needs watering. The stuff under the fleece should be fine, the amount of rain we've had, but I will double check. And then I'll get on with some other jobs. Yeah, if that compost arrives on Monday, then that solves a lot of problems. While I'm here, you can just see that the flowers are coming out on the raspberry, which is nice. Quick inventory from the flowers. This is spinach, which is ready to be pricked out. I'm going to do that now. Just having a drink at the moment. And then quickly going along the line, we've got basil, cosmos flowers, coriander, peas, tomatoes, more cosmos flowers, some thyme, which is just about germinated. What have we got here? Thyme, sweet corn, more peas, more coriander, some of which is germinated, coriander, basil, tomato, rocket, I think, yeah, rocket. That's the first lot of lettuce that I sowed. I'll have some of that for my supper tonight. It's still surviving in here, but I'm not sure how long it will survive this tiny bit of soil. I may prick some more out. It's a good healthy plant. More lettuce here that I picked out. Sweet peas, cosmos flowers, tomato, butternut squash, and a couple of other things. I'm not quite sure what they are. They haven't germinated. Under the butternut squash. So I'm going to finish watering all this lot out. Pick out spinach, and then I'll check what's going on underneath the fleece. And the courgettes, I'll probably give them a feed. I'm just about to pick out these spinach plants. So originally I sowed a load of seed in this tray. It's quite hard to germinate, but a few have come through. But now you can see that they're too big to be in this shallow tray. Their roots need a bit more depth. So I'm going to prick them out and put them into these pots. The cup of tea is an essential part of this process. These pots are actually, ironically, the pots from last year where I would normally buy little spinach plants already grown on. So at least they're all labelled up. If I can get them established, I should get a lot of yield out of them. Spinach is one of those things you pick and pick again, and it just keeps on growing. So even though I've only got a few plants here, if I can grow them on, we should be good for spinach. So the other thing is, if you're pricking out, it's much easier to wet the compost first, then make your hole and put your seedling in, and then you can water a little bit on the top. If you try and water the whole thing afterwards, you're just disturbing the plant. So wet the soil first. Okay, so I'll get on and do that. Okay, so they're nicely potted up now. They had good roots on them, so these will now go back in the polytunnel. I'll stick this back in the polytunnel as well. Some of this might go on, and I might pick some more out. I've got some more compost. But yeah, if these three plants establish themselves, then I should be good for spinach for the rest of the year. And on to the next job. I've just opened up the fleece tunnel for the first time in a couple of days, and things have been going crazy in here. The size of these poor bean plants, they are really ready to be planted out now. So that compost arrives on Monday, it'll be just in time. These are the first lettuce seedlings that I pricked out the very first time, which I showed you in the video. And you can see how they've grown on now they've been picked out. They've actually overtaken the growth of the ones that weren't picked out. So they're looking very good. Should be good for lettuce. The rainbow chard has recovered a bit. It was all, if you remember, it was all leggy from being on the windowsill. It seems to be quite happy under this fleece. It's grown on. So these are ready to be planted up again. Some basil here that's actually germinated. Courgette plants doing fine. They don't seem to have grown on quite as much as the ones which I've been keeping in the cloche, but that's okay, because I haven't got any compost for them anyway at the moment. So they're all ready to be potted out. Not quite sure where they're going to live. I'm going to have to have a think this weekend about exactly where all of the plants are going to live. At the end is another set of lettuce that I picked out, I think. Yep. Yeah, that's the red salad leaves, and that's some more spinach, which hasn't really done much. So I don't think much needs watering here. I'll just double check and then I'll cover it up again. Right, so I'm just having a little sit down. Everything's back under the fleece and the pulley. So a little read of my magazine here, and contemplating the next job, which is do some mushrooms. Got the instructions here with the shiitake mushroom blocks. This was a present from a friend of mine, Emily and Alex, if you're watching, hello. It's actually nearly a year old. They bought it for my birthday last year, which is in May. But as far as I can tell, that shouldn't matter. Let me just show you. So it's a big block, which is has the mushroom spores embedded in it. And the first thing I need to do, I'll get out and show you, is soak this in water for 12 hours. And then you take it out of the water and put it somewhere warm and light, but not too hot. And mushrooms should sprout out of it. I've never grown mushrooms before, and this is very exciting. So I'm going to fill a bucket of water and soak this now overnight, like 12 hours anyway. Okay, so I've got it in a bucket of water. It's very buoyant, but presumably it's just going to soak up this water. So I'm going to leave it there. It says between 10 and 12 hours, but don't let it get soggy. So I'll keep checking on it every few hours. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So this has been soaking in the bucket now for 4, nearly 5 hours. It says on the leaflet that it should soak for between 10 and 12, but it also says don't let it get soggy, it should remain firm. And this was starting to get soggy. So I've used my own judgment of taking it out. And now it needs to sit in 2 centimetres of water, and it needs to go somewhere warm but not hot, and somewhere where there's light, so this will eventually go upstairs in Seedling Corner, but not in the windowsill. Okay, that's about it for today. Thanks for joining us. See you on the next one.